My name is Braxton Sizemore,
My name is Madison Mikesell.
and today we will be discussing the Basque population in Europe.
All right. What can you tell us about the Basque people background?
That is an excellent question. The Basques are an often overlooked civilization when it comes to modern European cultures. They are a group of people found in the Basque region, which is a region between Spain and France. It is about 125 miles wide and made of about seven provinces. The land is called Euskal Herria, and the people call themselves Euskaldunák, which translates to speakers of Euskara. The Basque background is pretty complicated. We don't quite know how old their civilization is, with some sources saying 5,000 years old and others showing potentially even older than that. They speak a language that is unrelated to any surrounding countries, which is often believed to predate Indo European languages. This makes it hard to really trace the origins of their language. They've lived in the Pyrenees Mountains for centuries, which is before modern day Spain even existed, and they are known for their fishing skills, sailor skills, and navigation skills. They did face great oppression during the dictatorship of Francisco Franco during 1939 to 1975, meaning that they could not practice their language and traditions. Today, they now strive to preserve, educate, and spread their traditions, culture, and language to make sure that it does not go extinct.
How do they keep their culture alive?
So, as we've already stated, they went through a dictatorship of Francisco Franco. Through that, they weren't able to practice many traditions of dance and singing. So, today they primarily celebrate these things through festivals. These festivals are usually throughout Spain and France. However, there are a few in the United States of America. However, it is very different depending on where they are. In France, there are several big ones, which are actually a combination of several traditions and several groups. One of the most popular ones is San Fermin, which is actually called the Running of the Bulls. This happens usually in July, and they have several groups of dancers there. They'll have several of their own musical instruments and singers. There's so many dances that they perform. There are dances that are primarily for celebrations and festivals, which you'll see here, but they don't have everything. There's different groups of people, and what I mean by that is that there'll be groups of either men and women, or just men, or just women. They also have individual groups as well, where they start off with a group and then they break out into their own individual dances. Today, this really lets them express their beliefs through these festivals. A lot of things they couldn't do back during the dictatorship.
Hi, my name is Amelia Maxey,
My name is Ethan Hastings.
and this is a story of the Aboriginal people from Australia. So, who are the Aboriginal people and what are Dreamtime stories?
Yeah, so Aboriginal people are the original custodians and the Indigenous people of Australia. They're made up of multiple tribes, and they communicate through oral teachings, sometimes referred to as Dreamtime stories. Now, these stories can be 65 to 70,000 years old, as they are known to be one of the oldest civilizations in the world.
What is the original name of where you are from and who are the Indigenous people of this land?
Yeah, so the modern name of the city where I'm from is Brisbane. However, it is known as Mianjin to the original custodians, the Yugara and the Turrbal peoples, which means the spike. Now, this refers to where the city centre is now. It's just pretty much where the meandering of the Brisbane River is, so it's right on where the botanical gardens are.
What story is tied to the land where you are from?
Yeah, so there's this story, the rainbow serpent. It's quite a familiar theme throughout Australia and the Aboriginal tribes. However, they will have a spin and a different name for it. So this one particularly talks about the rainbow serpent coming down from the cosmos and battling some of the animals who can be found in the region of Brisbane or Mianjin. And then they end up defeating the rainbow serpent and leaving the Brisbane River. So this here is a didgeridoo. This is used usually in the background of the stories. Some of the elders will play it to mimic nature noises such as thunder or certain bird calls. So in the background of this reading coming up now, you will be able to hear a didgeridoo being played, That is for the rainbow serpent story. I would like to dedicate this reading to the original custodians of Brisbane, or Mianjin, the Yugara and Turrbal people. I would also like to dedicate this reading to the original reader, Shannon Brusca. This is The Rainbow Serpent. Once upon a time, in the ancient Dreamtime of the Yugara Turrbal people in Brisbane, in the trailing stars of the Milky Way, the rainbow serpent Mundagara traversed the heavens, its iridescent scales shimmering with colours of creation. With each graceful movement, it wove the fabric of the cosmos, leaving behind a trail of stardust that illuminated the night sky. One day, drawn by an unseen force, the rainbow serpent descended from the heavens, crashing down upon the ancient land of Brisbane with a thunderous roar. The impact echoed across the landscape, awakening the spirits that slumbered beneath the earth. From the heart of this celestial collision emerged Will Wimper, the angry spirit wind, whose ferocious howl threatened to unleash chaos upon the land. Sensing the impending danger, the creatures looked to their wise elder, Kunibugara, the knowledge holder, for guidance. Protect everyone. Use your thrilled neck. Kunibugara's voice rang out, carrying the weight of the ancient wisdom and authority. Binara Meringue, the frill neck lizard, answered the call, spreading his magnificent frill wide to shield his kin from Will Wimper's fury. Alongside him, Kutha, the honeybee, buzzed with determination, rallying her fellow insects to join the defense. Despite the howling winds and the lashing rain, they stood firm, their spirits unyielding against the storm. With Binaramerangue's full neck and the united efforts of the creatures of Brisbane, a barrier was formed against a raging tempest. Through their bravery and unity, they emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever. As the rainbow serpent ascended back to the heavens, its radiant form disappearing into the night sky, it left behind a legacy, a legend that would be passed down through the generations. Today, we see them, Kumibugara, the crayfish, at Mar Hill, Will Wimper, the windstorm near Roma Street Parklands, Kutha, the honeybee, towering up Mount Kutha, Maril, the old auntie, at Spring Hill, and Binaramerangue, the thrill-neck lizard, at Highgate Hill. The spirit of the Dreamtime lives on, the legend of the rainbow serpent Mundagara, and the great battle of Will Wimper, the wind spirit, became etched into